what's going on? It's your brother, your lover, the king, K Son Official, back with another trucking video. Woo! Today, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. I never really showed you guys how to do this. We're gonna learn how to properly inspect a truck, whether you're buying a truck or you're doing your daily inspection. Because as you know, in the trucking business, safety is the most important thing. I don't care who you are, how much money you make, you know, how you drive, even if you drive perfect. If your truck is not safe, none of that matters. Your cargo will be unsafe, and people on the road, pedestrians and other drivers, will be unsafe. So stay tuned, sit right back and enjoy. Let's do this. So we're gonna start with the rear of the truck, okay? We're gonna start with the back end, you know, the frame, things like that. So this truck's a little older. It belongs to a buddy of mine, but he's allowing me to use it for this demonstration. So things that I say might not make sense because some of the things on this truck are a little worn and old. However, they're gonna be changed when my buddy is ready to put this truck on the road. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the fifth wheel. This is your fifth wheel right here, okay? You wanna make sure that this fifth wheel is well greased at all times, because this is what connects to the trailer. If this sucker is not greased and there is basically too much friction, you might end up in a situation where the fifth wheel detaches from the kingpin of the trailer. That'll be a disaster. You don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure that this bad boy is well greased. As you can see, this one here it's a little bit greased, but the grease is dry because the truck has been sitting. Like I mentioned before, this is a buddy of mine's truck, and he is allowing us to use this as a demonstration. So you want to make sure that this is well greased before connecting to a trailer, okay? Another important thing you want to check for is these fasteners. You want to make sure all these fasteners are tight and secure, not missing, not rusted out, not broken, because these fasteners are what attaches your fifth wheel mounting plate to your truck. Okay, you go underneath and you'll see some more fasteners right over here. Okay, yeah, a little bit of rust is over here, but these are still intact. They're tight, they're secure, they're not missing, they're not broken. All right, while we're here, let's look at these shock absorbers. These are perfect. They're not leaking, they're functioning. They're a little old, but they work. The rubber mounts here are not worn out. They seem to be good. And while we're here, we're gonna take a look at the airbags. Okay, a lot of guys overlook this. These are your airbags. This is ideally important because it supports the suspension of your truck and also gives your truck a comfortable ride. You need these airbags when you have a lot of weight in your trailer. You wanna make sure that these airbags are properly inflated and they're not punctured, they're not dried out, and they're not chafing. Because the material is similar to a tire. It's like rubber, and you wanna make sure that they're not torn, not falling apart, and not breaking down. Right now, these are deflated because I've released all the air from the truck, which I'll show you in a minute, the air tanks. So when the air is released, they will come down and squish together like this. So these are good, all right? While we're here, we're gonna look at the shackles. These are your shackles, okay? You wanna make sure that there's no damage, no rusting, no heavy rusting, not broken, not loose. These fastening pins right here are very important. You wanna make sure that those are good as well. Come along the frame, no damage on the frame. All bolts and fasteners are good in place. These U-bolts right over here, you wanna make sure they're good as well. Not damaged, not missing, not heavily rusted. While we're here, we're looking between the tires. Pretty decent, a little bit of rust, not a big deal, not broken, nothing missing. Dust cover is here, brakes look pretty good, and the fasteners that are over here, the lug nuts, they seem to be intact. Let's move along. Down here is where your spring brakes are. I do an air test in the truck to make sure that these spring brakes pop out. So doing that, I'll actually show you that when I'm in the truck. And I always do that when I'm connected to a trailer to make sure that my spring brakes, in case of an emergency where I run out of air, they will pop, and I will still have some brakes just in case my tractor protection valve needs to kick in. You want to make sure that works, because in an emergency, if you have to stop or for some odd reason your truck is moving and you can't stop, these spring brakes need to kick in to stop the truck. It's basically emergency brakes. Let's go in between here. There's no debris, no damage in between the two tires. Perfectly fine, no damage to the rims. Check the other side, and you're gonna do that on both sides. Okay, let's go along here to the actual tire itself. All your fasteners, your wheel fasteners are there, tight and secure, not missing, no damage, no leaking, nothing. The rim, no damage, no heavy welding, no damage. And your tire, no cuts, no bruises, no bulging, no damage. Okay? These tires are a little bit bald, but they still have some tread left. Like I said, this truck is not in service. It's just for demonstration purposes only. Alrighty, so let's keep it moving. While we're back here, we're gonna look at the other airbags. These airbags are good. No damage, no cuts, no bruises. Over here, no damage, no cuts, no bruises. Working perfectly. The rear diff, as you can see, and the drive shaft, they look pretty good. The rear diff right here, this big ball right here, no leaking. You need this. This is very important for your truck's traction and for the control of your truck, to be honest. Like, this pretty much controls how your truck is going to drive. No leaking. All plugs are in place. All bolts are in place. The little plug there is in place. No damage. No damage here. No damage along the wires. Looking good. Let's go back here. All our lights are in place. Looking good. Reverse light. Our two marker lights plus our brake lights. They're going to be working because we're going to be pushing the brake and you'll see them light up. Let's keep it moving. Over here, this shock absorber back here, it's good. No leaking, no damage. Airbag looking good. No leaking, no damage. Back here, these two tires, the rear tires, no damage in between the rims. No debris, nothing. Tires are looking decent. Low on tread, but not too low. Just enough for this beautiful summer weather that we're having. Over here, safety pin is here. No damage, not missing. Along here, all the fasteners are good. No damage, not loose, not rusted. Mounting plates for the fifth wheel. All the fasteners are here. Not missing, not damaged, not loose. As you can see. Again, fifth wheel, well greased. And this fastener right here for the fifth wheel, it's in place, not damaged, not missing. Your handle is in the open position. When this fifth wheel backs to a trailer, this is going to be in. So when it's locked in, you will see, and I'll show you the jaws in a moment. Perfect. Those are your jaws. Those jaws right there lock onto the kingpin and it locks firm. If this is functioning correctly, it will never separate no matter how much you pull. So when you connect to the trailer and you do your tug test, it should be locked permanently. These things are well engineered and they're made to a specific spec that thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of pressure cannot pull it off. It's amazing engineering. So those are your jaws and they're in the open position because you are not locked onto a trailer yet. Okay, so as we continue, we check this side along here. We make sure the frame is not rotted out. We make sure the frame is not heavily damaged. We also check the frame members. So these things right here, okay, these are the frame members, okay? You want to make sure that they're not damaged, they're not rotted out, they're not sagging, shifted, and they're not, they're not damaged in no crazy way where it will make your truck immobile. On the trailer, you have like probably maybe 50 frame members, a whole lot that you want to check as well. We don't have a trailer today. We'll do that in another video, but you want to check the frame members on the trailer as well when you're inspecting, okay? Here's the catwalk. This is the catwalk right here. No damage, a little bit old, a little bit bent, but it can work. Now you want to inspect your lines. These are your air lines, okay? This is the service line, and this is the supply line. Red, supply, blue, service, okay? You want to make sure that these are in rough shape, but it's okay. You want to make sure that the rubber seals are still in place. These got to change, of course, but let's just pretend for demonstration purposes that these were actually intact. Okay, you want to make sure that they are intact, they're there, they're not broken or damaged. You want to make sure there's no leaks or nothing coming from the lines. That looks good. Okay, same thing for the supply. This seal is intact, this looks good, and this line looks good, no damage. Yes, these lines are looking pretty old, but they work. I've pulled the trailer with this truck and it seems to work perfectly fine. Okay, let's continue. We want to examine our fuel tanks. This looks good, no damage. The cap is not missing, and there's no damage to the fuel line, the fuel tank straps. They're there. Fuel tank is intact, no leaking. I don't smell any fuel, and the fuel tanks are not falling or leaning in any type of way, and the caps are present and they are not missing. Next, you want to look at your electric supply line. You want to make sure that there's no debris inside these holes, because this will supply electricity to the trailer to activate the lights. All your lights on the trailer that need to be activated, any other type of electronics on the trailer, such as maybe a PTO, or perhaps maybe a heater, this will supply electricity to the trailer. You want to make sure there's no damage, there's no cuts in the lines, and nothing. This is important because I see a lot of guys driving their trucks and trailers on the road and they have no lights. When that happens, there is an issue either with this line or with the electric input on the trailer. Please, guys, make sure you check this, because you want to be, when you're on the highway and it's dark, you need to be able to be noticed. You want people to see you in case you have a breakdown. If you have a breakdown, you pull around the side of the highway and someone hits you, there can be fatalities, you know? So make sure this line is intact, because you need indicator lights, and you need marker lights, and you need tail lights. All these things need to function on your trailer so you don't get pulled over and get a DOT inspection and get taken out of service. Please, safety, safety, safety. In case you're wondering, it's this guy that's making all the noise. This guy, what do you see down there? Hey, buddy. Okay, he sees something, so I'm gonna check it out. This is my little guard. Don't mess with this guy. Don't play with him. Don't play with him. Good boy. Let's not forget one most important thing, the spring leaf. This metal beam down here has to be intact. No damage, no cracks in the spring leaf. Let's check all the spring leaves. Over here, closer to the back of the truck, with the two U-bolts, the spring leaf is good. Now, the spring leaf in the front of the truck, this one is good too. Please, drivers, make sure you check your spring leaf. It is a very critical component in the suspension of the truck. Very important. Okay, so we finished up with the rear, and like I said before, don't be nervous if you see a little bit of rust. These things are on the road. They're working heavy. They're working with the snow and all the salt and everything that's on the road. So you have to allow for a little bit of rust on your truck. Just because there is rust, it doesn't mean the truck is bad. Believe me, some of the older trucks are a lot better than some of the newer trucks. That's why you still see a lot of older Freightliners, older Volvos, and older Peterbilts on the road, still running strong. And these guys, they will never get rid of them, because those trucks don't give any major problems. They're old, they will be rusty, but they are strong. Very strong. No issues. Nothing. Okay? So we're gonna now go to the front, the engine compartment, the engine bay. This is where it gets real tricky, because if you're not familiar with trucks, it's gonna be hard to understand if your truck is having a major issue, especially if you are buying a truck. A lot of guys buy junk and don't realize it. It's sad, but it happens every single day. So stay tuned and let's get to the front of the truck and see what we're working with. Okay. So I won't get into full details how to do this, because I am not a mechanic. I am not an expert, but I might know a thing or two. So when inspecting an engine area, you want to check for any type of corrosion, any type of leaks, oil leaks, rust, really rusted out parts, things that should have been changed but have not been changed. Like, for example, this alternator. This is new. I can tell this is new. It also has the sticker from the mechanic. So I'm not worried. This truck was maintained by the previous owner. You want to look at the turbo. That turbo looks pretty good. No issues. A little bit of rust over there, but not a big deal. The truck has good boost. I've ran this truck before, and it has very, very good boost. Okay, so turbo's good. Another thing you want to check for is where was the coolant sensor change? Things like that. Down here, was the coolant filter change? You know, did they change these things? This guy said it was changed, so I have to believe him, okay? You want to check for things like that. Let's go up to the top. You want to make sure that the truck is not burning coolant. This is where you put your coolant. You can open this up. You can check that it has coolant in it. If there's no coolant in here, that is a bad sign. Okay, then the truck is consuming coolant or it's leaking coolant, okay? That's important. All right, in here, you want to check, did the air filter change? This air filter looks a little bit dirty, but I have to take it out to inspect properly. Now, you want to make sure that this is changed, because if you have a clogged up air filter, you're going to get poor fuel mileage. You'll be burning more fuel than you need to, okay? So let's continue. Make sure there's no damage to the radiator. Make sure there's no damage to the coolant lines or the AC lines. Make sure all these lines are in good shape, no damage. You want to check, you know, again, you're going to see some rust. So you want to check for any broken, any heavy rusting. But it's normal to see some rust. This is cheap iron. So if you see a little bit of rust, don't be alarmed, okay? Like I said before, these trucks, they're running through the salt, they're running through the snow, they're running all year round. So they're going to rust. But as long as you do your rust proofing, you do your under oiling, you do your lubing on the truck, you should be okay. They're made to go millions of miles. Okay, over here, this is important. You want to make sure this fuel filter right here is not all the way up here. Because if it's all the way up here, then you know this has to change. And you want to make sure the fuel is clear. This one's a little bit on the darker side because, again, the truck has been sitting, so the fuel got a little bit dirty. But the filter is still good because the level is still down here and there's a lot of life left. So you want to make sure that, you know, this is not too filled and that you have to change very soon. Power steering. You want to make sure that you have enough power steering fluid that there is no leak. Over here, it seems okay, a little bit dirty, but it's working. It seems fine. And when I do the test with the steering right here, there's no noise. And these joints here, these knuckles here and joints are well greased. You want to make sure these nuts are well greased and no damage to the actual power steering reservoir and the power steering mechanism. Let's open this up. Come on. It looks pretty good to me. Okay, I can see some liquid. It's hard to see on the camera, but there is liquid at the upper level. So we're good to go on that. So let's close this and we shall continue. Good. Okay, you want to check your engine oil. Okay, now listen, this is where people get confused. This is a diesel truck. So when you check this oil, it is going to be black. Okay, that doesn't mean anything bad. Yes, I know, with a car, when you check the oil on a car, the oil should be brown when it is freshly changed. That is a gasoline engine. That is a different machine. With diesel, diesel is very dirty, and diesel engines, the oil, even if you change the oil 5 minutes ago, if you just changed the oil 5 minutes ago, it is going to be black. That is normal. You want to check that the level of the oil is good, it is not low, and the truck is not burning oil, and it is not leaking oil. Okay, a lot of guys buy trucks with oil leaks, or they buy trucks that are burning oil, and it is garbage, no good. Okay, you want to make sure over here all your lines are good, all your air lines are good, no damage, no leaks. This is a little bit messy, but guess what? It works. The owner of the truck is taking good care of this truck. Even though it is almost 20 years old, it is in very good shape. You want to examine the frame. Right here, frame is looking good, no damage, still intact, a little bit dirty, but it's still strong. Nice black metal, very good. And that's where you would put the oil if you're low on oil, that little part right there, okay? These lines, they look a little bit messy, but they're good. They're they're zip tied, but it's okay, not a big deal. This owner is still very crafty, very handy, and taking good care of the truck. Now we're gonna move on to the stair tires up front, and we're gonna go from there. These are your stair tires, okay? This one here, it's decent. It's decent. You know, you want to make sure you have good treading on your stair tires, because these tires will save your life, okay? Over here, you want to make sure all the lug nuts are present. They're covered with caps, but it's okay. Lug nuts are present, you know, not loose, not damaged. And the rim, these are aluminum rims. They're very good, not damaged, no rusting, no bulging on the tire. nothing. This is a good truck. Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay, so we just started the truck. This is a cold start. So that warning beep that you're hearing, that is the low air warning, okay? It's telling me that the truck is low on air. Remember I told you before, the airbags were already deflated. So the air already came out overnight because this guy, he drains his airbags, he drains his air tanks overnight to avoid any type of water coming into the airlines and coming into the air tanks and causing damage. So I'm gonna show you something real quick. So right now it's telling me right here, these are my air pressure gauges. Okay, you have your primary and you have your secondary, okay? It's telling me my air is low. So the truck is telling me to stop. But don't worry, we're not gonna stop because we're not driving. But it's letting me know to stop because the air is low, okay? So once this air gets past this white line here, the warning will stop. So you have to give it time, all right? When we're finished, we're gonna run some air tests. So we're gonna let this truck build up its air and we're gonna run some air tests, okay? See you soon. Let me show you something. So you see, no noise. The steering is perfect. You want to make sure this is good, okay? No leak. There's no leaking. Very good. Okay, so you see, air is coming into the airbags. This is so beautiful. Wow. Truck is rising. Wow. So you see, it's like a balloon filled with air, no damage. This is so important. If the police or the MTO or the DOT or the sheriff or state troopers, any of these guys see you and this is damaged, you are fucked. Okay? You're screwed. You have to make sure that these are good. I see too many guys fuck around and they don't check their truck and these airbags are damaged. You son of a bitches are putting people at risk. Check your truck, okay? Stop being cheap. Check your fucking truck. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna build up the throttle a little bit to build up the air. So I have the PTO on. The PTO is on level 1 and the RPMs is at around 9 and it's 900 RPMs and we're gonna wait for the governor to kick in. You're gonna hear like a little noise. Okay, so listen carefully. Okay, so the governor just cut out. That is a good sign. So we know that air brake is working, but we have to do some more tests. So the governor cuts out at 120 psi. Right over here, you can see 120 psi. Okay, so I'm gonna put the camera right here, and we're gonna do some more tests. Okay. First, we're gonna test now. We're gonna test. Let's do tractor protection valve. So this is the tractor protection valve, okay? Right there. We're gonna push it down. Okay? And we're going to Hit the service brake until it cuts out. We're also going to do low air warning. So low air warning came at the correct time. 55 PSI. Let's watch this cut out. Good. Good. It cut out. So the tractor protection valve kicked in. My spring brakes are working. And my low air warning came on. It came on at around right before it got into the red. So the red zone, 55 PSI. It came on right in the red zone. That is correct. It is functioning correctly. Tractor protection valve, it kicked in when I applied my service brake, which is down here. Let me turn on the light. That is a service brake right here. Okay, you have to push that in order to lower the air pressure to make sure that the low air warning sensor or the low air warning alarm will kick in. Okay, let's continue. Turn off the light. Okay, so now the low air warning is on. We're gonna build up the pressure again. So we're gonna raise the RPM. And we're gonna wait till it comes off. It should come off at around 60 PSI, 58, 57 PSI. Again, let me remind you, a lot of guys do not do the air test correctly. Okay? I just showed you 3 different tests. I showed you air supply low, I showed you tractor protection valve, and I also showed you the tractor protection valve kicking in, and we're also doing air pressure buildup rate. So it should come off in about 5 or 10 seconds, maybe less. I normally do these tests when I'm connected to the trailer. Perfect. Air warning is off. And we also did the governor cutout test. So we know the governor cuts out perfect. Okay? Now we're doing air pressure buildup. It should get to 100, no more than 2 minutes. Okay? We're gonna start from 85. So from 85 to 100 PSI, it should get to 100 in 2 minutes or less. Anything more than 2 minutes, that means there is a problem with the air brake. So it's climbing. We start the count right now. We're at 80. 80 PSI. How long does it take to get to 100? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so we got to 100 and we got there less than 2 minutes. Truck is good. So that is complete air test. We did a good inspection. We are now ready to go on the road. So I believe today we did good. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, like this video, share this video with someone who needs to hear this, because a lot of guys don't really understand the trucking business. They are driving the truck, but they are not checking anything. And it's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous for them, very dangerous for everybody else on the road, and it'll ruin their driving record. They will lose their job, they cannot support the family, they cannot pay the bills, and they will be a bum. Okay? So please give this video a like, share this video, comment down below if you like these type of videos, if you like these type of information videos to help you advance your trucking career. Let me know in the comment section. I am here to help. I am here to inspire. My love, my energy is here for everybody, because I know life is not easy. Life is tough. So if I can help you in any way that I can, I will do that. Okay? Please hit the notification bell so when I drop a video, you will be notified. You will get a notification that I drop a new video. Okay, so hit all my subscribes, hit everything. Okay? And I will see you guys on the next video. I love you all. Peace, love, and blessings. Stay safe, stay strong, and let's get this. Trucking for life. Volvo! Woo! God bless you, everybody. Bye-bye.